Hello everybody and welcome to Paper Crafting with Angelina. I'm Angelina Romero and today I'm going to share with you how I created this little Easter basket. I did have candies in here but I already ate them all, sorry. But I'm going to show you how I created this with the Cricut Craft Room and my Artiste cartridge. I'm also going to show you a little bit of how I colored the rabbit and the other elements on this. So let's head over to my workbench and get started. See you there. Okay, so I'm going to show you my file for the Easter basket. And if you would like to get this file, I would be happy to email it to you. So just let me know. You can let me know in the comment section below or send me an email to papercraftingwithangelina@gmail.com. So this is the file, and basically, let's make this a little bigger. Okay. I have the pieces in the colors that I want, and actually this should be purple. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to purple. I don't know how that got switched. And that looks purple to me. Okay, so we've got the purple for the basket, we've got the yellow, and that's for the handle. This is for our little flag for the sentiment, and here for the grass that's going to go on the basket. I have this set up on a 12 by 24 mat. Right here you can see that. And the reason is I want this basket to cut as much of the 12 by 12 piece of paper that I have so that I can get the biggest basket possible. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these out. One of the ways that I do this is I go ahead and look on the screen and see what size paper I need for each of these pieces, and then I lay them out according to the grid lines here, and that way I can just put one mat in, put the colored paper in the right spot, and then cut each one and go through and get it done quickly. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll be back after I've done that. Okay, so I want to show you real quickly how I have the paper set up, and again I used the grid marks. So I used a 12 by 6 piece here, and then a 2 by, I think this was 8, and then a 1 by 7, and then over here it was a 1.5 by 12, and this is going to be again for the grass, the flag, the handle, and the basket. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this into my Cricut and have everything cut out. Okay, so it finished there. I'll hit unload mat. And then we're done. So we can take this out, turn off my machine and put it to the side. And now we can pull all of the different elements off of the mat. Hopefully it's not too sticky and it doesn't hang on to any of my pieces. Very nice. So that's our basket. Next is our handle. Now our banner flag. And our grass. So this is why for the grass and for here, if I had just used a 12 by 12 mat, it would not have allowed me to get this close to the edges of the paper. So that's why I go ahead and do that. So now we'll go ahead and get to assembling. And just as a side note on this, when you get your little grass cut out, you know, there's no reason you can't use the negative for another basket. It's a little rounder, but I think that would still be a cute little grass. Okay, so to begin with my basket, what I want to do is I want to take a couple of different inks and just sponge the edges of each of these pieces. So I am using Sweet Leaf, Gypsy, Buttercup. I'm also going to be using the same colors when I'm coloring the little bunny rabbit and Easter egg. So I'll use a little sponge dauber, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and along these little score lines, you can see they're a little white there, I'm going to fold and crease that so that they're a good, nice, tight fold. And we'll do that on all these tabs. And because this cardstock has a white core, I definitely want to be doing the sponging in order to cover that up a bit. Okay, so go ahead and take the ink and do the edges just a little bit. It helps add dimension, and like I said, cover up just a little bit of that white. Okay, so I'm finishing off all of the sponging, and on the little flag banner I went ahead and used the buttercup on that too. That way it's going to tie in, it won't look so stark, and it's going to help offset the purple or the gypsy that I'm going to use to stamp the sentiment on. So there we have, everything is inked up and ready to go. So like I mentioned, this is from the Artiste cartridge, and one of the nice things that with the Artiste cartridge, it actually comes with this assembly instruction booklet. And here on page 73, it shows us how we want to be folding and gluing everything together. So it's really very simple. Some of them are a lot more complicated, so it's good to have this assembly instructions booklet. So we will start right here. I'm going to be using liquid glass because that's a nice strong adhesive. And I'm going to be, nope, didn't fold that one. Okay, so I'm going to be putting the liquid glass on all of these tabs and then putting it together. And this, I shake a bit, so I will look like I'm fumbling, but I promise you I'll get this put together properly. Okay, so I'm going to start with this side one. And I don't want to put too much because I don't want it oozing out. And one of the ways I like to make sure my boxes are going to be folding properly is to fold them down when I'm gluing tabs to the sides together. So run that together. Then before it dries completely, I'm going to fold it the opposite way and make sure that it all works good. Okay, so that's one of my tricks with boxes of how I attach the first tab. So now these tabs will be easier. And on this one, I'm just going to put it on these two, and then from the inside, I'll put the liquid glass on the other remaining tab. But if I were to put it here, as I slip it down here, it's going to get all over the side, so I don't want to have that issue. So there we go. I'm going to take my bone folder and just press that down to make sure it's grabbing really good. And so this right here is the tab that's still loose. I'm going to bend it down a little bit and put the liquid glass on there. That's why I said this is a little tricky. There we go. And so for that one, turn it on its side. Smooth my finger on there. Go ahead and do these again. And that's how simple this little basket is to assemble. And there we've got it. Now one of the things that I like, and I'm going to go ahead and sponge that edge because I can see the white. I have some ink left on this little sponge dauber. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the handle. And what I'll do first is just curl it so that it bends easy and it's not going to be resisting so much, and get a nice little curve in there, okay? This is going to go attached to the outsides. Now you could, if you wanted to, use some really cute little brads and pop those in there and have maybe even attach a flower if you wanted, but I just kept it really simple. And so also, I want the seam where we attached that, I want that to be in the back. I don't want that to be in the front of my basket. Even though it would be covered up, I just would prefer that that be in the back. So I'm going to make sure it's in the back when I'm attaching my little handles, and start here with some liquid glass on this side, and then over here, let's see. Okay. And what I like about liquid glass is when you first apply it, it gives you a little time to move things around, and then it dries fairly quickly. So there we've got our handle, okay? So next we want to attach the grass. And I'm going to start pretty much in the center. Actually, what I'm going to do this time is try to get this to attach at the very back. So I'm just gently going to fold it where the folds are to try to mold it to the shape of the basket. And that way when I actually go to glue it, it will work with me. And see how this comes just to right here? I'll just snip that off because this is going to cover it. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my liquid glass to attach this as well. And just a small bead, you don't have to use a lot of this. It has really good staying power. So here's my back. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. Wrap this around. There we go. It's that simple. So I'm just going to rub this in to make sure that it's attached everywhere. So there's our basket. Okay, so I've colored my flower, my little butterfly, and I want to show you how I'm going to attach this little bud. Just going to put this up on 3D foam tape. Make sure it's not too big. There we go. And I did color this all with the blush because I didn't want it to show up white, because I'm not going to put it directly on. I'm going to turn it just slightly so it looks like a layered flower. There we go. I did add the wink of Stella on here, as well as the wings for him. And then for the center of this flower, I'm going to add one of those little lavender rhinestones. Whoop, they are giving me a problem today. There we go. There we go. Okay. And so now I have everything that I need, and I'm ready to put this all together. And again, I'm going to look for where that seam is. Here it is. So that's my back. I'm going to go ahead and pop this guy on here so he's sticking out just a little bit. And I am going to be using my liquid glass to do that. Get that stuff off. So since I saw the placement, I know I need some here and here. And then I am going to put some on his feet and attach him. There we go. Okay, so he's attached. Now I'm going to attach my flower. And even though on there I put the liquid glass all over the back, we'll let that dry, and so it won't be an issue. It'll be okay if it dries in on there. And then I'm going to pop our little butterfly onto the flower, and I'm going to put it on the back part. Just right there, so he's hanging off a little bit. And there you have it. Now next, the last thing is we've got to attach our little banner, and what I've used is just a little toothpick. I should have done this earlier. Oh, you gotta love it when you don't quite think out the whole process. Anyway, I snipped off the bottom, don't want anybody poking themselves. Go like that, put the liquid glass on, and get that put together. Now, just like I did with his ears, I don't want it to be just completely straight. So I'm going to bend and then bend. Curl and then curl this way. And that way we get a little more definition. That's going to get stuck right in here. Let's see, about right there. Okay. So put a little more liquid glass on here. I'm going to hold it just for a bit, just so it can stick. So here's the finished projects. This is the one we made today, and here are just a few other samples of the bunnies that I had colored when I printed out a whole bunch of them. And this is the original. Now the one difference that I have on these two is that I had cut this out as well as the arm a second time and then popped it up on 3D foam tape just to add a little dimension. I didn't do that with this one, but certainly that's something that you could be doing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would really love to read your comments regarding my project. And again, if you would like me to send you the file, the CCR file for the Cricut Craft Room, so that you too can cut out this little box with the dimensions already figured out for you, please leave a comment below, let me know, and I will contact you. Make sure you watch the video regarding how I cut the little bunnies out. And in the meantime, happy paper crafting. Bye-bye.